I wanted to explain how a 2-to-1 buy down works because it can be a really effective tool in the current market where a seller wants to be able to get their higher price, but a buyer is really concerned about monthly payments and interest rates. Now, this is a great way to make a deal happen when there's a little bit of a gap there between the buyer and the seller. So the way this works is that the seller would typically pay 2.5% of the loan amount or thereabouts as a seller's concession toward closing costs for the buyer. And the buyer would use that to utilize the 2-to-1 buy down. And the way it works is that the interest rate would go down in the first year from the market rate. It would go down 2%. And then in the second year, it would go down by 1%. And in year 3, it returns to the market rate. Now, buyers are really concerned about interest rates right now. And in the short term, interest rates are higher, but they are expected to go lower. So in the event that that client is able to refinance before year 3, they may never pay that market rate, which is fantastic. So I'm going to show you some numbers to explain how exactly this would look in real life. So let's use a $500,000 loan, for example. The seller pays 2.5 points, which costs them $12,500 in concessions toward those closing costs to pay for the buy down. Now, if the going rate were 6%, the mortgage payment would be $2,998 without any buy downs at all. But in year 1, that interest rate goes, in this example, from 6% to 4%, which is a difference of $611 per month. Now, that's a pretty significant difference for a buyer. And in year 2, the interest rate goes down to 5%, which would give the buyer a savings of $314 per month. Still significant. And in year 3, the interest rate would go back up to the market rate unless the client had already refinanced out of the loan at any given time. Now, if we look at it from the seller's perspective, this is a much more effective use of their money because in the event that they give a concession of $12,500, but the buyer still wants that monthly payment to go down to these levels, the seller would actually have to drop the price by $50,000 to $100,000 to achieve the same monthly payment. So now you see $12,500 doesn't sound so bad if the alternative is dropping the price by $50,000 to $100,000. So this can be a really effective tool, especially right now with interest rates expected to be lower within the next couple years where people are going to be refinancing. Now is the time to take advantage of this opportunity, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Now is the time. If you have questions or want to run this scenario by us, we would be happy to help you. So please reach out and we'll be here to help you every step of the way. Take care.